Welcome back, everybody. You're here at Behind the Fame, and today's featured video spotlight is a legendary actress, Hattie McDaniel. You won't believe her life story. I'm going to give it to you. So stick around. This is the life and story of Hattie McDaniel. And no, she's not Aunt Jemima. She's Hattie McDaniel. Alright, join us as we celebrate her life and career. Hattie McDaniel was a pioneering African-American actress, singer-songwriter, and comedian best known for winning the 1939 Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind, making her the first black Oscar winner. She built a substantial career in film, radio, and early television, while navigating and often criticized for accepting stereotyped domestic roles within a segregated Hollywood system. Early life and beginnings. McDaniel was born in 1893 in Wichita, Kansas, the youngest of 13 children of formerly enslaved parents. Her father was a Civil War veteran and her mother a gospel singer. The family later moved to Colorado, where she attended school in Fort Collins and Denver, and showed early talent and recitation, winning a gold medal in a temperance contest. She started performing in minstrel and touring ensembles with siblings, owning her skills as a songwriter and stage performer through the 1910s and 1920s. Rise in entertainment. In the 1920s, McDaniel recorded 16 blues sides for labels such as OK and Paramount, and became one of the first black women to sing on American radio. After moving to Los Angeles in 1931, she worked as a maid while seeking roles, eventually joining the Screen Actors Guild and landing more visible parts in films like Judge Priest, Alice Adams, Showboat, and Saratoga. She developed the Hi-Hat Hattie radio persona and became known for both her comic timing and her singing, though she was repeatedly cast as maids or mammy figures. Gone with the Wind and the Oscar. McDaniel won the coveted role of Mammy in Gone with the Wind in 1939, reportedly helped by Clark Gable's support at her audition in a maid's uniform. Segregation laws barred her from the Atlanta world premiere, and even at the Los Angeles Oscars banquet, she was seated at a segregated table despite winning Best Supporting Actress. Her heartfelt acceptance speech expressed a desire to be a credit to her race and the industry, but the performance drew mixed reactions, praised for artistry, yet criticized for her reinforcing plantation-era stereotypes. Later work, activism, and criticism. McDaniel continued to appear in major studio films, including In This Our Life, Since You Went Away, and Disney's Song of the South, often still in domestic roles, but sometimes with more direct engagement with racial issues. She broke ground on radio and TV by starring in Beulah, the first series led by a black star, which was financially successful but controversial for its stereotyped portrayal of a black domestic life. Civil rights groups such as the NAACP criticized her and similar performers for perpetuating demeaning stereotypes, while she defended her choices by stressing economic realities and her right to work. Personal life, death, and legacy. McDaniel married 4 times, had no children, and experienced marital difficulties tied in part to tensions over her career and earnings. She was active in community service during World War II, chairing the Negro Division of the Hollywood Victory Committee, entertaining troops, raising war bonds, and helping fight restrictive housing covenants in Los Angeles. She died of breast cancer in 1952. She was only 59. Her wish was to be buried in Hollywood Cemetery was denied due to segregation, so she was interred at Rosedale Cemetery, with a cenotaph later erected at Hollywood Forever. Honors and the missing Oscar. McDaniel left her Oscar to Howard University, where it was displayed before mysteriously disappearing in the 1960s or 1970s, and never being recovered. In 2023, the Academy announced and then presented a replacement Oscar to Howard University, restoring a physical symbol of her historic achievement. Her legacy is marked by 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, induction into the Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame and the Colorado Women's Hall of Fame, and a 2006 U.S. postage stamp honoring her as the first Black Oscar winner. That was the life and fabulous career of legendary actress Hattie McDaniel. And no, she is not Aunt Jemima. But of course, as kids, we all thought Hattie McDaniel, with that type of thing she wore in her head from the plantation, that she was Aunt Jemima or Mrs. Butterworth's. How can we taste so good? Remember those commercials? But Hattie McDaniel was often perceived to be Aunt Jemima. But that was another actress or another person that was Aunt Jemima. I'll make a video of that if you want me to on who the real Aunt Jemima was. But no, a lot of times though, when Aunt Jemima came out, they thought it was Hattie McDaniel. And so they thought she would get money off the residuals of Aunt Jemima pancake syrup and all that so forth. But she was a great, funny actress. You can find a lot of her performances on YouTube. Check her out. Very a fine actress with her eyes, her beautiful radiant smile. There's a couple of clips of her singing where she's in the kitchen making something for some man. And I forgot the lyrics, but when I hear it, I'll remember it. But anyway, she's a fine actress, wonderful singer. Does she play stereotypes? Yeah, but as she explained it, she has to eat, she has to live and survive, she has to work, so she's going to take roles. Some people say, oh, that's racist, that's not their business. You got to put food on the table, you have to survive, and make a living, and that's what she did. And she went out on her terms. Sadly, her ill health took her, but at the young age of 59, she was only 59. That's far too young to be passing away, unless you have health issues. But that was the extraordinary life and career of Hattie McDaniel. Give me your thoughts below on your impressions of Hattie McDaniel. Do you remember her from Gone with the Wind? Did you think she was also Aunt Jemima like I did and most kids in the 70s? Because everybody in the 70s thought she was Aunt Jemima. So, or that Aunt Jemima was copying Hattie McDaniel's performance in Gone with the Wind, and so on and so forth. But give me your thoughts below on Hattie McDaniel. Thank you for joining me here at Behind the Fame, and that was the wonderful life of Hattie McDaniel. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all in the next video.